EDG and the Bangkok Titans. Yasuo is the first ban out from EDG as the Bangkok Titans respond with Twisted Fate.
So right off the bat, targeting G4 there a little bit, as well as the Elise we've seen, very popular early game jungle. So EDG trying to take not only that line of attacking G4, but also some of the early aggressive junglers away.
Yeah, Bangkok Titans, they don't want to get global, so TF is off the board here.
I'd say that's a good one.
Away from Pound, I think that's a good strategy. They're one of the few teams here, I think it's the first team that actually bans Kalista on red side. That used to be the staple 100% pick ban, you know, always ban on red side, especially in the LPL where EDG hails from. But recently has been nerfed a little, just a lot more stronger champions have come up, risen to the top. So Kalista traditionally not banned on red side. Bangkok Titans still a fate of it.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because I do expect Lloyd to go with an AD carry that is very strong in the laning phase and try and play aggressively.
But how do you play aggressively on Deft and Meiko? They're probably the masters of just...
You never know until you try, Krepo.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you're the support player, huh?
Well, we do have a Mordekaiser ban there as the last one from Bangkok Titans. Lulu on the side of EDG, fairly standard there. And AmazingJ, he's going to go through a bunch of champions. He will settle on Gankplank.
I do like the Garen hover
He
over
loves
as well.
Garen.
O2, even before the rework.
Yep.
But yeah, AmazingJ looks like he's going to pick up the flex pick for his team. It could go to him, he could keep it. They obviously have already shown that Pawn will play it in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, definitely being able to flex that Gankplank is important because there are counter picks available, like the Riven. Even Fiora does well because you can repost a lot of the damage that he puts out with the barrels and prevent, you know, the big chunky that he can do in lane. Having the ability to flex that just gives you so many options.
Yeah.
Titan style, Braum has to be picked up in early rotation if you do value the patch you're playing on.
It's just such a strong support here, so I wouldn't be too surprised to the Titans pick that one up, but plenty of options here with about 15 seconds left for the Thai side. Running out of time though, and you know, like you mentioned, EDG already have a strong first pick, and they are going to go Rek'Sai Braum as their next two.
Yeah, 007, good versatile jungler here. He also has been able to use Rek'Sai very effectively for early game pressure, not only going for ganks, but as well setting up some good counter ganks, so definitely paying attention to his minion waves for his early laners.
And you also just don't give away much information on this first run.
Exactly.
Very generic. Jungle plus Braum is one of the most generic openings you can do on the red side. This allows you to at least hide some information, wait for the blue side to at least reveal something. You know, obviously they're not going to tell you where that Gankplank is going, and they're probably just going to answer with a generic jungle pick in return.
Yeah, the Gankplank is actually really scary too, because, you know, whether it goes top or mid, the global ultimate is just such a good answer for any team that's going to try and push the tempo, for any team that's going to try and make early moves on you. As soon as he hits that level 6, you have to be very careful with fully committing to a fight.
And we've seen Pawn do some pretty silly things with Gangplank barrels, but it is Skarner. Champion Clearlove played a lot in the regional playoffs, and Thresh, a very standard pick there for Meiko.
Yeah, huge playmaking champion there for Meiko picked up, and Clearlove's already shown once again he's taken up the Skarner. So since then, he's got a couple balance changes, but let's see how it works out this time. Definitely does have that single target to lock down. It's always a good champion when you know you're playing against a team that has a really big star player where they focus a lot of resources into one person.
Yeah, even if he does get ahead, he's still forced to buy that QSS, you know, slowing his build down, not allowing him to carry. Meiko here locking in the Thresh. He's mostly known, if you don't really know Meiko, for Braum, for Annie, obviously also for Thresh. He can pretty much play anything at a consistently high level, very consistent support. The same way, Deft is just a very consistent laner. That's what they want to do. They rarely go for the flashy, you know, all-in type of plays that you can maybe expect out of Imp, you know, going for the crazy kill. But Deft, if he farms up slightly even, he's technically ahead because he will just out-teamfight you.
Certainly is, as Maokai Vayne were the picks for Bangkok Titans, and Deft hovering a pick. He's apparently been playing quite a lot in his solo queue boot camping, but we'll see what EDG want to select with 40 seconds to make their last two picks.
Yeah, the previous round there for Bangkok Titans, not really a surprise. Warlock pretty much always likes to be on that comfortable tank champion for the top lane. He is also the captain for the team, so he does get to make, you know, the teleport calls to try and engage there and alert the rest of the team. Lloyd going to go with that Vayne to pair with Braum. We were talking about this earlier, actually. The Braum Vayne lane does vary quite a bit.
Yeah, it swings both directions. So if you get ahead with Braum Vayne, you can win really hard, but that requires you to land your Q, because then you're still playing a melee support with a very short-ranged AD carry with no innate like AoE wave clear, no boomerangs, no AoE rockets, so you can snowball both directions very easily. Whereas if you look at here Deft and Meiko, what they pick up, very defensive support that can play at range, most of the supports that can play at very high range in teamfights can actually go for an early Zeke's. Combine that with 2-item Jinx. Those are AoE 100% great rockets in teamfights after you focus down the tank. And then you have Darius to clean up. Just so much damage.
Plus, I love the Thresh Skarner combo. Once they hit 6, both around the similar time, you get the Lantern in for an immediate Skarner ulti on the Vayne, and you're just you're not unlucky is I guess the term that you guys like to use.
That's the ear term, unlucky. But if you look at the team comp here for EDG, first thing you see is so much physical damage, and usually that is a worrying trend. But overall here, those AoE crit rockets you can get from Zeke's, that allows you to just do so much damage that armor doesn't really matter. You have armor penetration passively on that Gankplank barrels as well. Slightly nerfed right now, 40% just, but overall, there should still be plenty of damage on the side of EDG.
Yeah, there is that definitely does clear up the build path for Warlock though.
Yeah, frozen hard boys.
he knows exactly what he's going to do with this Maokai.
And I mean, it's a very typical comp from both teams, honestly. Deft on a champion he was once undefeated on until the team started slumping just a bit in the LPL. And Zed, of course, the insta-lock coming out for G4 makes a lot of sense.
I'm just a little worried here for the Bangkok Titans.
Yeah.
They can fall behind in damage relatively easy. Like, they can fall behind super quickly. They only have Vayne and Zed as carries in these fights. That's going to require some really good positioning when you're going ahead against the zone from Darius, the zone from a Gankplank, and you have to get to that Jinx somehow. Kill them all with only 2 threats. That's going to be incredibly hard.
It is definitely going to be scary for them. But as you said, G4, this is basically his favorite champion, the iconic G4 champion. He's going to be on the Zed. Maybe they'll be able to get to the split pushing.
And with the picks locked in, head over to Twitter and let us know how you think this game will go. Tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag EDG win or hashtag BKT win, and we'll tally up the votes in just a bit. And it looks like we are going to be getting ourselves onto the Rift as Z2's teams take to the World Championship stage for the first time here in Paris. EDG over on the left, your blue side for this game, and the Bangkok Titans, a wildcard team, over on the red side.
All right, let's see how quickly they get out to start and capture these spires for Clearlove.
Yeah, a little mini game added now that Skarner got into the game.
You can start on the ones in the river and collect them immediately and still get back to a normal jungle start.
They're not proccable until like 1 minute, 1:15, right?
Yeah.
Takes a while.
You can easily finish the channel, though, and get back in time. We'll see if Bangkok Titans try and contest them. the minion objectives first.
Oh, Deft. Showing a bit of flair there with that new summoner icon. Always looking good.
I think it's likely we'll see a lane swap come out of Bangkok Titans. So having to play Vayne, Braum into Jinx Thresh, you just get outranged by both. You're playing one range, one melee into double range. Not only that, it's so incredibly hard to get to Deft, because even if you proc the Winter's Bite, one flay is enough to peel you off. You're never going to proc that stun, and then he outranges on level 1 already, Deft. And as the game goes on, those rockets are just going to be such an easy trade into the Vayne every time.
Well, trying to get taken there as EDG just moving out, but like you mentioned, there is that lane swap happening. Deft staying out of range of that Trinket Ward by the looks of things here. A minute 45 in. It's just going to be straight to those 2v1 lanes.
Yeah, and if you look at the top lane, how diversified the meta is already. This is the 7th different top laner that we've seen today. Darius has only been the only one repeating champion, so overall, yeah, the meta is shifting and people are still finding their stride. Maybe towards the later stage of the tournament, we'll see some repeat on some champions, but from solo queue experience, Darius, he hurts.
He does.
Very true. He also heals. All right, so Meiko and Deft going to actually take the blue buff themselves here. Started out, so a double blue buff start. Bangkok Titans, it looks like they are 100% going to get 3 buffed here.
Yeah, they lane swap, but what they did is they only secured 1 quadrant of their jungle. I know you love talking about those quadrants, Kobe. Aggressive invade, just to spot if they're jungling on the right side of the map. EDG starts double jungle on the left side of the map. They're going to get such a big experience lead. And Bangkok Titans, yeah, this is what we see. 4-back gank in the middle lane.
Oh, no, he's failing, he flashes!
Warlock!
Lock it down!
Oh, the flash twisted advance. He gets a minion instead there.
25 gold?
Well, I don't think he killed the minion either, but Pawn, they did get the flash out of Pawn, but again, this is what we're talking about. They like to pour all their resources into the mid lane, finish off 1 jungle quadrant, and immediately try and go burn.
Not everybody can be double doge. That honor is just laid away for a specific amount of people. Just
Double
doesn't really
doge
work.
Is a god.
Well, I can see Bangkok Titans. Moss going to check that brush with his Winter's Bite. Doesn't quite get it, though.
Yeah, EDG, though, punishing Bangkok Titans very heavily for that super safe start where they started actually on their strong side of the jungle. So not going to have much more to farm here.
Yeah, and look at Moss right now. He confirms his Darkest Sphere. That entire jungle is empty. So by proxy, you can deduce that EDG's remaining members went to the down right side of the map, then the up right of the map, which means they're about to get a dive here of 4 against 2. And EDG, they're clean enough to execute this.
And this ward that Meiko just dropped, I love it. That's where you see the top laners coming in to teleport as well. They don't need him because he walked all the way here. 4 versus 2.
Here comes the dive play. Back there, Warlock getting low. Meiko, he's in trouble. He flushes out, but Deft, he's getting a first blood. That's a double kill for the Jinx.
This is the tempo that we're talking about for EDG. They do not like to let you have a moment's respite.
Yeah, an incredibly clean execution. Meiko starts tanking, he gets out before he dies. By that time, Deft has 1 kill, 2 kills. Now his double buff tower's dying. Warlock comes back, he wants some more.
Oh my god! They're gonna get locked up. Clearlove looking for the stun. Deft wants a 3rd kill. The auto's good. Rocket follows. Deft gets himself 3 kills in 4 minutes.
All right, that was definitely painful to watch. They punish the lane swap. They go for the early dive, successful dive, and a repeat there after the teleport is also blown. They even have teleport advantage. Okay, the one thing for Bangkok Titans is Lloyd has been free farming.
Yeah, Lloyd is actually on even CS with Deft, and that is an accomplishment. But Deft, it is 4 minutes, 45 seconds in the game. He has now acquired 2,000 gold sitting in the bank, ready to be spent. So he can basically get a BF sword when Lloyd is still struggling. He is 3-0 already. This is gonna get real ugly real quick.
Yeah.
We did expect it to be bloody early, so.
We did, and that's the EDG power, really. We've seen them dive teams of all different calibers over and over again. SK Telecom sure know the feeling of getting dived by EDG.
Yeah, Boots here picked up. In addition to that BF sword, Deft says, okay, I'm done in the bot lane. I'm just going to go top lane, you know, fight Lloyd, because he hasn't really seen too many EDG members overall. AmazingJ ahead of Warlock in, yeah, not in farm, but 2 levels up, I think, in XP overall. So EDG, yeah, completely in control already.
And teams should take note. Yes, this is, you know, a massive lead for EDG, and they're huge favorites to win this. However, EDG being able to finish out when they get leads this big is something that you need to pay attention to. Immediate pickup on pink wards here, immediately looking for deep vision. They're trying to cut off any sort of resources from Bangkok Titans.
Deft can now aggressively trade with that red buff and those rockets, and immediately, as you said, you know, how do you snowball an advantage? You pair your jungler with your support. You aggressively move and you find the enemy jungler. Once he's out, you can't even gank anymore because you know exactly where he is. And Pawn, even though he got ganked early, he had to blow his flash, he's now completely controlling the pace in the mid lane against G4. So Bangkok Titans, they're crumbling left, right, and center already.
We've just hit 6 there as well, so ultimate going to be available for the next bit of EDG aggression. Meiko is going to move his way towards the mid, but does go for the recalls. AmazingJ happily 1v1 in the bottom side as Deft is mowing through this turret.
It's going to be very scary here. Deft can easily get resets in these team fights, even on the front line. No matter how much money Warlock pours into armor, Deft is just so far ahead. It's a really unfortunate feeling as a tank when you're you know you have a clear path, and yet you just can't get enough money off of the map to even take a couple rockets from Jinx.
Also, if that lane ever matches up 1v1, Vayne against Jinx gets incredibly hard. The worst part of that matchup is BF plus pickaxe against Cutlass. If you ever find yourself in that situation, you rarely do because the way the game plays out traditionally. But after a 3-0 Jinx start, there's no trading you can do. Jinx completely outrages you. Meiko comes in, Lantern.
Again, ulti out from Pawn as well. G4, good dodge there, but the exhaust is out from Pawn. Clearlove follows in, looks for the stun. Ulti out from G4 is going to try and save his life, but a Chomper's going to give Deft his kill number 4.
And look how quickly they go to the mid turret here. This one will be knocked down pretty much effortlessly. Nobody from Bangkok Titans can come up to rotate and try and defend with Rek'Sai here, so she'll probably be on her own, and that's going to be another outer turret for EDG fairly shortly here. Actually, they're not even trying to pressure it unless they leave Deft there. Clearlove with eyes for bottom lane.
And they're probably just not used to being this far ahead this early overall.
They've done it before. We talked about the Besiktas game. Well, we'll keep track and see if they actually hit that mark.
If they can beat that record. But yeah, overall...
Time trials.
Time trials. They're playing against EDG's Ghosts, you know, in those map races. But overall, EDG, they don't extend these laning phases either. Like, they choose to go move Deft away from that bot lane and then go top for some more pressure on the tower. They don't really play the solo queue game where they keep going 2v2 and try smashing each other just for a kill and then base. So they're really playing the map right now. They went for a tower. Deft, yeah, kind of afraid whether Moss is in there or not because Meiko was roaming before. Now Meiko comes back, and that should be a very, very easy 2v2 here.
Safety net is back here for EDG. They're up 3,000 gold already 8.5 minutes in.
Now, hard mode is to look at this and try and find the way for Bangkok Titans to try and get back in this. And they do have at least the Brutalizer completed here for G4. He is stuck in mid lane right now. They also, it's going to be very hard for them because they don't have a lot of vision to work with.
That was well executed.
But, yeah.
Mom's getting poked out here. He actually needs to save that shield somehow.
They're just going to go in. Looks like Slow is going to miss. No ulti out there from Deft. They'll give it up this time, but pressure really on in the bottom lane.
The only way he's going to win that trade is if he can save the first hit on his shield for the Jinx ultimate to negate that damage, because otherwise they're never going to win 2v2. But yeah, he gets zoned out immediately. Yeah. G4 putting some pressure on Pawn here, but eats an orange.
Yeah, I was going to start talking about G4 roams, but again, Pawn is on Gankplank. He has the ultimate ready, so he can even answer that roam. And just sending the ultimate is actually enough to turn the tide since EDG are so far ahead. So.
And since their bot lane, top lane jungle combination from the Bangkok Titans, here 007X and Wallach are just so low damage, if they fall behind, it actually gets quite scary to gank Darius. He can take you out 2v1, especially with the reset mechanic on that ulti. So, power ulti coming in.
Yep, going back G4, looking to try and get out of it. Clearlove ulti, though, Meiko follows in with a hook, the damage is down. Ulti's used, but Pawn's gonna get the kill.
This may very well be the first perfect game here at Worlds. Fnatic, they were close. They were 1 kill away in their first game today. So if EDG can avoid dropping a tower, maybe that's what they're playing for now. Instead of just playing for the victory, they want a perfect game.
Just cancel some recalls there.
Need some more AD for that to work. And you see Deft.
Canceled recalls are very important at this stage, though. Even a couple seconds here. That's probably going to buy them Dragon.
Yeah, again, more tempo, more objectives. But Deft, this is something we see a lot in the LPL. Even when ahead, these guys like buying average blades. These are like their insurance. If somehow something goes wrong, at least I'm getting GP10. I'm not sure if I agree with it in every situation, but
true definition of avarice there.
Certainly is, as Dragon #1 is going to go to EDG, forcing them away with that ult from Deft just to make sure Bangkok Titans couldn't get there. And again, the lead continues to build here for the LPL team.
All right, let's see how Bangkok Titans are at setting up defensive warding now, because that is the emergency mode you have to go into.
Yep.
Try and set up defensive wards in your jungle. Uh-oh, here goes AmazingJ though. He's gonna trade on Maokai. He is Maokai though, so.
Relatively tanky. AmazingJ came out of late swap, only has some assists, only the phase completed so far, so Wallach should be relatively, but look at the position of that wave also, it's pushing backwards, so EDG controlling waves, trying to find out where the enemy jungle is, not making any rash decisions. They don't need any of those fancy outplays. They generally, all their kills have come from outnumbering their opponents, generally reading the map and then making that play.
Exactly. When you're this far ahead, all you really need to do is continue to pressure all 3 lanes because you're stronger in all 3 of them, and ward up the jungle so that Bangkok Titans can't move from lane to lane and can't farm anywhere. Basically, you want to cut off any way for your enemy to farm.
Yeah, you just starve them out, especially if they do manage to sneak past you and get a numbers advantage somewhere on the map. You can simply cross-map them. Take a tower somewhere else, take some jungle camp somewhere else, and it's incredibly hard to get out of that Stranglehold. Once it's in that position, once it's being executed, it's almost too late to come back. This is why we saw, early Season 3, Split Push was so popular because teams couldn't deal with it. Just like Lloyd may not be able to deal with this hook.
Is going in. Lloyd actually has to pop his ulti. Moss and 007X will get in. Meiko, maybe the target is Clearlove, does get stunned by the Braum passive Deft. He's in there, he's going to pop the ulti in melee range. Pawn, first kill onto Lloyd, but G4's going to come out. 007X he'll die as Deft. He's going to flash his way out, but can they get that kill? G4 will land the shutdown, but the Dunk's going to give Darius the double.
They killed Deft. They deny the perfect game. But G4's trapped under.
Oh, flash! Gets himself to safety, but EDG are not done. They'll plow straight through mid lane.
Yeah, G4 gets that kill, prevents himself from becoming G04, gets at least 1 kill. Perfect game denied. But 8,000 lead on the board already. To match that gold lead that they had in earlier Wildcard Teams matches, they need to get roughly 9,000 gold in the next 5-6 minutes, so it's going to be hard to break that record.
The time trial is on, is what Krepo is saying, as EDG will back off. Going to spend some more of that money. You can see their items are massive already. Deft close to the Infinity Edge. Side turns completed for both support and jungle, as we have a replay.
All right, so Meiko drops the ward, has sight, lands the hook and play combo. And here comes the entire party. What a good Gankplank ultimate as well, cutting off the retreat there. Look at Deft, though, right into the middle of the fight.
Because it forces Lloyd forward. Deft knows if he gets a reset and some damage, they're going to win this fight regardless. He doesn't have to survive this fight for it to be a big win for EDG. And look at the damage that are still alive. Even if Deft falls, we still have a Darius, you know, with the ulti. We have Pawn on the Gankplank that can even win 1v2s later on with those barrels. So there's so much depth coming out.
Yeah, at that point, they're just looking for more people to commit to the fight.
Yeah.
And Black Cleaver done for Darius. Trinity Force done there, so that damage certainly online now for Edward Gaming.
And that's the way you really play that Darius. Early armor penetration from the Black Cleaver, and then you just go tanky. You get Dead Man's Blade, and you basically become unkillable in addition to having very high base damage on your abilities and armor shred on top of that. It becomes, yeah, such a hard task to deal with. You just have to kite him. That's all you can do. All you can try.
And the armor shred is even just like icing on the cake for Darius. Like, Black Cleaver is the one-stop shop to best item that you can rush for him. The movement speed for all the bleed damage that keeps ticking, and it has health, it has cooldown reduction.
If you buy one now.
If there were more versions of it, yeah.
Is there a sale?
Like, give me one.
Well, tower does fall in the bottom side as EDG knocked down 5 of Bangkok Titans turrets. 8-1 up in kills, continuing to spiral ahead in gold. Almost 10k ahead as 007X is found AmazingJ, but AmazingJ will stand and fight. Pawn's going to help him out. The ulti's good. Looking for the dunk. Apprehend. Does find and he gets the kill. 1v2.
And this is exactly what we feared. Hang on, Moss is getting caught again.
Hooked up there by Skarner. Pawn's going to ride in, and that's another killer's death. Barely misses the secure.
And this is exactly what we feared in Champs. Like, yes, they have a lot of tanks against a one-dimensional team composition, but they can run out of damage if they fall behind, and they were so prone to falling behind, especially after that missed 4-man gank in the mid lane on Pawn.
Yeah, you can know that the smart decision is to just buy armor, and you can know your path all you want, but if you don't have any money to spend on armor, then it doesn't matter. He's only got Ninja Tabby.
That is literally all he has. He wishes he had a Frozen Heart, and this is the danger. Ganking a Darius 1v2 is already tricky. Having Pawn's global ulti come out on top of that is just, yeah, that's adding insult to injury overall, and Bangkok Titans is in an incredibly tough position right now, over 10,000 gold behind, and it's only 15 minutes in. But it was to be expected. They're going out against a powerhouse coming out of LPL region. You know, many people would have rated them the best team in China if it wasn't for LGD's rise at the end and EDG's minor slump, or decent slump at the end of the season.
And EDG on track for fastest game ever. I believe their record is 20 minutes and 14 seconds against Royal Never Give Up in the LPL. So those time trials we talked about could also be here as Clearlove's going to face check Moss. Deft firing away with his IE now, and Moss has to pop the shield up and run away.
Yeah, bold move to venture out into the jungle here, and it looks like they do get snared.
No follow though, just going to do some extra poke damage there with the rockets. Dragon up in 15 seconds. Deft has a red elixir. EDG very ready to fight for this dragon.
And that average blade on Deft already paid out 230 gold. Just getting those small increments.
He really needed it, Krepo.
Yeah, I really need it. I think that is what separates the good from the best AD carries. I actually dislike it. I think when you're this far ahead, second item Panther Dance is still better. But who am I to disagree with them?
Well, EDG are going to start up this dragon, and it looks like Bangkok Titans are just going to try and collect some farm. Difficult to challenge here, maybe even impossible, as they will pick it up, and this game is only getting further and further out of reach.
All right, let's see how EDG try and close the loose here. Again, they've just constantly been keeping up the deep vision. Now they're going to try and keep... Uh-oh.
Nice little
Pawn does get caught, though.
Yeah, G4 coming in. The exhaust is down. He's going to ride the Lantern out to safety. Ulti will proc, but it's not enough damage. And that GP ult almost kills him. What Deft? Going to snipe him off with the rocket. Lloyd pumps a heal the run, but Clearlove, he wants blood. And he's going to now look for 007X.
Clearlove will ult anyone that he can take. He doesn't care if it's the front line. If he grabs you...
Oh, Meiko! Moves them back into the box as Clearlove collects it.
And this would be the perfect time to test out those new emotes. Overall, especially when Pawn escaped there on the Lantern riding away.
I really do love the team spamming emotes. I'm actually waiting for one of the really trolly players to take the emote of the opposing team.
That's the next level emote strategy.
You can even use them when you're dead, I believe. So that's, even from the grave, you can contribute to a pleasant viewing experience.
Well, that's great for you, Krepo.
That's how I found out. You know, I do die a lot. 18 minutes, first inhibitor goes down. EDG, yeah, 13,000 gold now.
I hate to break it to you, but I have been informed that the refs are not allowing them to take the other team's emote. So we'll keep it clean. You can only use
sportsmanlike.
Pride in your own team.
Well, they've shown a lot here, have EDG. As the minute hit does go down, Bangkok Titans going to struggle to keep Edward Gaming out of their base at this point. Just so many items. Giant's Belt for AmazingJ. More tanky items out for Clearlove. A Brutalizer for Pawn. The static shift completed for Deft. And it's just a couple Blade of the Ruined Kings on the other side.
Yeah, and we touched about how one-dimensional the damage coming out of EDG was, but if you look over, Vayne and Zed, the only two carries, the only two threats on Bangkok Titans are also just, you know, either 80 damage and a hit of 2 damage. That is if Vayne actually gets 3 attacks off, which is getting increasingly more difficult as these fights progress. So right now, even those bruisers stacking armor, they become so difficult to kill.
Yeah, and you already touched on the armor shred from Darius. Gankplank has his own built-in armor shred as well, so
Jinx doesn't care because she has like a full item up on anybody else in the game.
Mr. Play, he'll land the hook though. Clearlove gonna follow in. Pawn's ulti sets it up as Deft snipes it with a zap.
High accuracy this game from Meiko on the death sentences so far. Even the flash ones.
Yeah, and if you, Meiko, fantastic Thresh overall, really in his element right here. But if you look at EDG, the amount of assists that most of these members have, that indicates that they've been playing a very team-oriented game where initially they just want to outnumber people. They haven't been beating anybody 2v2, 1v1 straight up because they don't have to. Crowd is a big Meiko fan here, chanting his name, always fun to be.
Well deserved.
A high kill participation on most members here. Finally, Clearlove finds G4.
Trouble now as Deft just kills him before the ulti can even pop. EDG now going to funnel into that base, look for more kills, but they'll be more than happy to take another inhibitor.
All right, inhibitor number 2 down. They're going to go for Nexus turrets next.
And Deft is just looking to end the game. We talked about it, 20 minutes 14, I believe, so they might be on the clock here to try and race it. Don't know if they can do it, but the Bangkok Titans, they're going to try and keep it in. The ulti's out. Good block there from Moss. And you can see the pings on Baron. EDG, they do love themselves an early Baron.
Yeah, look at those pink wards. 5 pink wards, 1 in each corner. It's like a pentagram. Yeah, complete vision control. And yes, okay, EDG is super far ahead, so, you know, so those pink wards aren't as impressive, but if you're going to follow EDG throughout the entire tournament, hang on, surrender.
Yeah, and that's the surrender for Bangkok Titans. The Baron could not be completed as EDG in style take their first game here in Paris.
Yep, well deserved. Meiko with some big plays from the very beginning of the game, actually, outplaying a lot of the lane swap and continuing into the jungle, keeping up the pressure that we were looking for. Yeah,
I just love the level 1 strategy here. It almost had no downfall, even if they found, you know, if Meiko and Deft found the opposing top lane jungle duo jungling, then it could still be an even game from then onwards. But if it works out the way they did, Bangkok Titans, they wanted the lane swap so badly that they forgot to think about jungle quadrants at all. They just started on one side of the map. They got completely 3-buffed, 3-quadrant jungled almost. So that was so hard to come back from.
And the Bangkok Titans, they knew what they were up against. That's why they kind of went for this super risky, everybody go mid, we're going to try and flash Twisted Advance to make something happen. And it
he hit him in it.
Stumbled. Yeah.
Well, the 4-man gank in mid lane's a very common occurrence in the LPL as well. Pawn more than prepared as he dodges that, and EDG vault ahead to a very quick win here in Paris. You can see the crowd applauding, cheering for the team as they'll take one of their first battles here at the tournament.
And just a smart, calculated approach to the game. Outnumber your opponents, clean dives. That dive, that was textbook. Meiko taking the aggro, everybody getting a kill, nobody dying in the process. The first death was only Deft after Lloyd was zoned into the fight, and at that point, if he dies, if he gets 2 kills, that fight is 100% guaranteed to EDG. The game is guaranteed. It doesn't matter that you give up your life there. So overall, just clean textbook play, very high kill participation across the board, so working as a team.
And if there's one way to describe EDG, I think it has to be efficient. Very clean dives, very strong strategy, just always know where to go and what to do.
And to touch on that pink ward point that we were talking about earlier, how the vision spread out, they're actually masters of using Fog of War to their advantage to bait. Sadly enough, it wasn't needed this game. They really need to bait because they had their pick of the litter. Meiko could choose any target, hook it in, Clearlove.
It's going to be a long group stage. There'll be more.
Yeah, I really hope to see that. If you ever see EDG fall behind, pink ward in the brush, Skarner, flash over ulti, that's something they did against IG. So that is hopefully a play we'll see again from EDG.
And I think again,